welcome to another session of Emotional Café. Here, Xiomara Mello Ingram, like every week, today with the session Learning Experiences. And probably when you hear me talking about learning, you may think that I'm going to talk about things that we've learned in school, in high school, maybe in college. But the truth is that I'm going to be talking about learning as a process that we constantly live throughout our lives. It doesn't happen just once, but it's something that we constantly struggle with and we constantly have to face. And as I say, learning is a process. It means that it's not something that happens overnight. It's something that takes time. It does imply acquisition of something maybe new. We're learning a new skill or we're learning new knowledge, or it can also imply modifying something that we already have, in this case our attitudes or maybe our behaviors, our actions. So it implies changing something existing. So again, when we're learning, it has to do with acquiring new things or changing the ones that currently are due to that learning. And what is it exactly that we modify or that we gain when we learn? We're talking about attitudes and values and behaviors and actions and skills, abilities that we might have. So all these are ours, and as we go learning through all those learning experiences that we face throughout our lives, that's when we go defining who we are and putting those in place. Our first learning experience is the ones that we have within our family and within our environment when we're growing up. But as we get older, we're going to start experiencing different kind of situations that will provide us with new learning, and better said, with our own set of learning, that it's not something that someone's going to teach us how to sit or how to eat or how to walk or what to do or how to interact, but these will be the learnings that we will get as a result or a conclusion of what we have experienced. So when we're facing each experience that presents itself in our lives, we are exposed to the situation. We start internalizing what's going on, what's happening, how I'm feeling, how this is affecting me, and then it takes the whole it takes the changes, it's the application of what we've been learning, and that's when we put it together and we decide to make adjustments and again changes as we need in order to show what we've learned. So that's when it comes to the experiences that we've gone through. And I have a couple of popular phrases that I have brought to share with you because I think it's a fun way to illustrate the different levels of learning, how we have learning differences among ourselves. And it's just amazing because two people can go through the same situation and they are actually going to have different learnings. Maybe they'll have the same, but they can also have totally different learning experiences. So here it goes. My first phrase is, no one learns on someone else's head. No one can pretend to have someone else's head in order to learn what that person has learned. And that's what it really means. We refuse to learn from what others tell us. It doesn't matter who it is. Someone can come and tell us, don't do this, don't do that, if you go through this, handle it in such a way. But the truth is that we all want to live our own experiences. So we don't learn from what others tell us. We don't learn from what's in their heads. We learn from our own head by doing what we want to do. It's very unfortunate that sometimes if we follow the advice of some people that will give us some suggestions on specific issues, we might be avoiding a lot of trouble. But again, we all want to experience and go through it ourselves. So the second phrase is, each head holds its own world. What does it really mean? Is that everybody interprets everything in a different way. We can be looking at the same thing, 2 people, 3 people, 5 people, and everybody will have a different interpretation. And it's the same thing. Every head holds its own world. Every head has its own set of how to process things, how to gain the knowledge, how to learn. So we need to understand this when we are dealing with other people. Another phrase is, intelligent people learn from their own mistakes. but the wise people learn from someone else's mistake. And I remember the first time that I heard that phrase, I didn't really get it, what really meant. You know, I consider myself intelligent, so I don't get it. What are they saying? Well, what it really means is that there's two kinds of people, the intelligence and the wise people, people with wisdom, people that have gained some knowledge throughout their experiences or maybe with age. And the truth is that as intelligent beings, we want to go through our own learning and we make mistakes. Wise people, they learn from what others have done in order not to repeat the same mistake. And that's what it really means. That's when it hit me. Because yeah, I had been intelligent, and yet I found myself doing the same things that others have done with no different result. Why was I doing it? Because I was stubborn and I wanted to try to do it and get it my way, and it didn't work. So that's what this phrase is about. And the final phrase that I have for you today is the one that says, I stumble with the same stone all over again. And what the phrase means is that we repeat the same mistake. We go over the same kind of experiences, even though we know it's wrong, even though it does some harm, even though we know that it's not good for us, but yet we find ourselves going through it and doing it again. One important reminder that I want to share with you today is that we all learn differently. As a matter of fact, there are lots of studies that show all the different intelligences and all the different ways that people learn. Each person learns according to their own way. And sometimes we get really tough on others. We want them to have learned this. How is it possible that this person is still struggling with that? She should have learned already. When the truth is that we all learn differently. That means that we learn at a different pace and that we learn in different times. It might be a slow process for some or fast for others, but we need to remember that our learning experiences can be the result of something really pleasant, something good and nice, but it can be also the result of something unpleasant, something traumatic, maybe dramatic, maybe painful, maybe drastic. So as we go through these experiences, that's when the learning is actually going to happen. I always hear that when you are facing an experience that has a lesson for you, if you don't learn the lesson, the experience will continuously repeat itself until you learn the lesson. And when I think about it, it's just like that. It's just amazing how sometimes we struggle and we don't know why the same thing is happening to us over and over again. But it has to do with something that we're supposed to learn. And until then, that lesson will continuously present itself in our lives. I have some recommendations to share with you in regards to our own learning experience. Not the others, but our own learning experience. Be receptive and open to whatever experience you have to go through. Maintain a teachable attitude, the attitude to learn, to accept, to identify, to get to know, and reflect on the experience for a better internalization of it. So you go through the experience back and forth, what are you supposed to learn from it, and then take into consideration what has been learned in order to make the changes that you need. So again, this is what it comes to our own learning experiences, to be actually receptive and open, to maintain a teachable attitude, to reflect on the experience, and then to make changes accordingly. Now, my recommendations in regards to other people learning experiences, and this is a little different, you're gonna see why. Practice respect and tolerance. Just remember, we have no control over other people, what they say, what they think, what they do. So just show your respect and be tolerant to others. Show compassion. Remember that, again, it's their learning process and you don't know why it's taking them that long or not. So just show compassion. Don't be judgmental. You don't like it when they judge you. Don't be judgmental to others. And establish your own boundaries. Don't go telling people what to do. No one likes to be told what to do. And if you think that just by going and telling them what you think they should have learned from that experience, they're going to get it, you're wrong. They need to get it by themselves. So again, my recommendations for you when it comes to other people learning experiences is to show respect and tolerance, to show compassion, don't be judgmental, and set your own boundaries and respect them. Don't go telling them what to do or what you think they should learn or how to do things. It's their experience. Let them learn the way they can learn. Now, July is the month of challenges, and I have a challenge that I want to leave before I finish the session. And these are the questions that I'm going to ask you for you to reflect on as a challenge of the week. What attitude should we adopt when we are facing an experience? Whatever experience comes our way, what is the attitude that we should have? Will we assume it as a learning process, or will we deny it and constantly complain about what happened to us? Will we maintain a humble attitude to recognize the lessons ahead of us, or will we refuse to accept it and embrace it and accept the learning gift that this experience has? That's the challenge for this week. We can see every experience that we go through as an opportunity to learn. And I tell you, if that's the case, we're going to grow so much. But if instead we decide to whine and complain about everything that happened and blame it on the circumstances, blame it on other people, I'll tell you what, the lesson will continuously repeat and present itself in your life. My dear friends, my name is Xiomara Mayo Ingram, and I hope you can join me next week with another wonderful session of Emotional Cafe. See you then.